Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. This is Pat, and this is the kind of the quick little, uh, part two video that I had mentioned, I think a couple weeks ago. I'm a little bit late getting to stuff sometimes. Anyways, so I thought I would do a quick one for you today with the stories that I was going to share, because I know people had asked me to share, how I work with the angels and the archangels for different, in my daily living. Different aspects of my life. So I was going to share a story or two about that today. And also, since I'm on the air, might as well just pull a quick daily guidance card and see what the message is for us. But so I recently had a couple of experiences where, oh, fresh air. Yes, I'm out in the fresh air, getting back outside to do the video today. It says your body needs refreshment from oxygenated air generated by grass, trees, plants, and flowers. Yeah, I mean, getting outdoors, the air outside is different than the recirculated air that we get inside. So, but it's an indication that you need some freshness infused into your day. Make sure you get outside today and, either walk outside. Hopefully it's a nice day where you are. But even sometimes walking in the rain can be very refreshing and cleansing. The water purifies the air a bit. And I know it's a bit chilly out here for me today, but I'm glad to be outdoors again. So anyways, fresh air is going to be on the mind today for you. But with regard to the story, so I recently had a couple of situations that I found that I was really stressing about. One had to do with an event where I was asked to go and do readings. And I was really delighted to be invited to the event. I also had to work that day. And at first it seemed like the timing of it was going to work out just fine. But then work had scheduled me for the later shift. Even though I had made an inquiry, or I had inquired about being able to work the early shift. Sometimes when a place is short-staffed, I get called in a lot when, areas of my work are short-staffed. So sometimes the schedule that I would like isn't always, I have to accommodate what they need. So anyways, I was really worried. Well, at first it didn't seem like it was going to be a big deal. But the person who was putting on the event made me aware of the fact that they really needed to start the event on time and that the readers need to be available shortly thereafter. And that wasn't going to work with the way that my day at work was going to end. The timing wasn't going to work out right. So it was going to make me late to get there. So anyways, I found that I was really stressing a lot because being who I am, I like to accommodate. I mean, I wanted to accommodate the person who invited me to do readings, but I also felt, obviously, the obligation and responsibility to accommodate my work. And so I called on the Archangel Raguel. And I called on him because he's an archangel who, he's the overseer of the archangels. And here he is. Okay, I wanted to show you this is one of the cards. But he brings order to things. And so when you have things that need to kind of, different elements that need to come together and work harmoniously, he's the archangel that you can call upon. So I asked for his help specifically to intervene in the situation. I have a little conversation with my angels and I explained to them what the issue is. Angels, I'm really worried and stressed. I really need to be to this event on time. I've asked if I could get out early. It doesn't seem like it's going to work, but could you please intervene and have it work out for me? I really just want to get to this event on time so everything runs smoothly. So I asked for that help and then just let it go. Well, the nice thing was when I showed up for work that day, now I thought I was going to be the one who was going to have to do all of the closing, like, with the keys locking things up, and that's why they needed me there. As it turned out, when I got to work, I found out that wasn't the case. And the manager who was there said, I heard that you want to be able to leave a little bit early. And I said, oh, yes, please, if I could, that'd be great. And she said, well, you could leave about half an hour early. That should, we should be fine by then. And that would have been the perfect time to be able to leave for my event. So long story short, I got to my event on time. The whole night went smoothly. And I made a little bit of cash to boot on top of it. So those are one of the ways that I ask angels to intervene and let them work with me. I really just pour out what I'm worried or stressed about and kind of express as clearly to them as I can what I want. Now, I did this a second time when I had to, most of you know I live in New England, just outside of Boston. And I was going to be having to, I got stuck being the driver to take my son to a concert in Boston. It's my own fault. I fully took on, I was asked and I took on the responsibility for it. So, but I was a little bit worried because it had been a while since I had driven into Boston. And for any of you who have ever been in Boston, in no uncertain terms, it is just a cluster of traffic. And there's no, if you haven't been in there in 6 months, traffic can be rerouted in 5 different directions. So I don't like having to drive in there. And it had been a while since I'd been to this venue. And I wasn't sure, I didn't want to just go and drop off my son. I wanted to go in there, stay, hang out until the concert was over, and then take him and his friend back home. But I didn't know where I was going to park. When I looked it up online, all the places seemed really expensive. I wanted you to go in well ahead of time, and I just didn't want to do that. And it was kind of stressing me in an underlying way because, oh gosh, when you go into big cities, and not that Boston's a big city compared to others in the country, but it's just one of those cities where you go down take the wrong turn, you can end up in this maze, unable to get back to where you came from. And it's utterly frustrating and stressful. But anyway, long story short, so I called on the Archangels again and asked Raguel, and actually I called on Raphael too, because he's a patron of travel. Helps to oversee your travel so that you're safe and protected and can find your way. And, I think I called on the Archangel Shamuel too, because Shamuel is an archangel who's visionary, helps you to find things. So I was asking for their help to find parking that was reasonably priced and to be able to find a place to stay and hang out at and, for things to go smoothly again. So that night we were able to leave and, left early enough so I could get in there on time. And we did. Got in there well enough ahead of time. And I had to drive around a little bit, but as I was pulling down some of the little one-way side streets that are part of Boston, I kind of went around the block and ended up in front of a parking area. And it was still a little bit pricey, but not as pricey as some others. And it just looked right. And it was in close enough proximity to the place where the concert was taking place. So I pulled in there. The man was very, very nice. You didn't have to pay for it right away. You could do it when you were done, et cetera, et cetera. And you gave him your key and they took care of your car. So that piece of it was done. And then I took my son over, made sure him and his friend got into the concert okay. And then I went and found a place locally. In Boston, it's all sports bars because Boston's such a big sports town. But I found a great little sports bar to sit and hang out in and play on my phone. I brought books to read. They had great food. That part of it was all good. And then came the end of the evening the other piece of this was that there was there was reports that there was a big heavy duty, torrential downpour rainstorm kind of coming in. It's what we would call like a nor'easter, I think, but it wasn't snow. It was going to be rain, and there was going to be lots of wind and heavy downpours. And this was going to be coming in the later hours just after this concert got over or as it was finishing up. And I thought, gosh. And so, my son's father had texted me and said, is this, you guys done with the concert? Are you on your way? And I said, well, no, the concert's not even done yet. And he said, well, it's probably a good idea to get out of there early since it's going to be, to avoid the heavy duty rain. And I said, you know what, you're right. And after that moment, I was just about to text my son and he texted me. And the funny thing was, while I was sitting there in this bar, enjoying my meal, what have you, I had pulled up my phone because I have apps on my phone. And one of them is, I have a couple of Oracle card deck apps on my phone. So I pulled up one of the ones and it was the Goddess deck. And as I scrolled through and picked a card, the card that I got was Expect a Miracle. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to take a miracle for us to get out of here. Because God only knows what kind of traffic we're going to encounter. And at the time, I was like, I don't even know if I know how to get out of here the right way. So, pardon me. But sure enough, my son had texted me, said the concert's over. I said, great. I bolted out of the restaurant. Of course, I'd already paid up and everything, so it was fine. I stood out there outside the concert hall for maybe less than 5 minutes before he found me. We were able to get right into the car and start heading home. Really, it was so fast. But the only dilemma I had at that point, again, that I had asked my angels for help with, was getting out of there. I was trying to follow my GPS on my phone, but I misread it, and I ended up in this area that was next to a parking lot, and it had a sign that said wrong way. And the funny thing about that is that there were several other cars in front of me that were going this wrong way. But that's Boston for you. We kind of ignore traffic rules sometimes. That's why they call us massholes. But anyways, so despite being in the area, I'm thinking like, oh great, how the heck am I going to get out of this? You know, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I just followed the cars in front of me. They made an illegal turn. I went right after them, and I ended up right in front of the highway that I needed to get back on. So in less than 5 minutes after picking my son up from this concert, we were back on the highway on the way home, and there was no traffic. It was like the more of a miracle that I couldn't have planned for a better miracle than that. So I know there's a kind of, I laugh and joke about it, but those are some of the ways that I asked my angels to help me out. And, well, I certainly don't advocate not planning for things more specifically. I did some planning, but their help and intervention was clearly evident in everything that took place. So I share that with you for however it helps you for today. And I leave you with this: get out and get some fresh air today. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this little video about how I work with the angels. I'll continue to give you more. Or if there's anything else you'd like to specifically see, please let me know. All right? Take care, everyone.